Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all well. It's Christmas Day. Just gone 9:35 in the UK, 10:35 in France, and I'm just doing a quick live stream. I was hoping to do a longer stream talking about players that I want to keep and sell, and the new players that I want to buy either this January or next summer. But that's going to have to wait a little while, guys. Because I want to talk about Gabriel Jesus and Kyle Walker. Put a picture of Gabby up. There you go. Picture of Gabby. Gabriel Jesus testing positive for COVID-19. Hi, Faris. No, come on, Faris. There's no press conference. I didn't see anything, certainly not on Christmas Day, and there's nothing be found. Hi, Leah, hope you're well. Walker and Jesus, yet makes things extreme. It's tough, and it's made it tougher. Now, obviously, we don't know how they got it. You know, it just says they got it. But also, 2 members of staff had it. So, have been tested positive. Look, I'm just going to guess here. My feeling is it's been around the camp. I don't know when the last training session was, whether they trained yesterday or the day before. Assuming they had a test yesterday. So, as I said, I don't know when they last trained. The worry is that nobody else has tested positive. I guess all the players and staff have been tested. I assume at the same time, and these 4 tested positive. So there's a risk. There's a very real risk that it could spread. Okay, there's a possibility that it won't. You know, obviously we're not clinicians. We don't know what's going to happen, but there's a risk that this could spread. I don't think much. I don't think if it does spread, it'll spread by much. But guys, none of us know. You know, it could happen. It might not happen. Nothing might happen. You know, we might just be very, very lucky, and nothing happens. Nothing to anybody else. But I think as I said, we're going to rely on a little bit of luck here. It is going to rely on luck, because just in my mind, I feel they must have interacted with other players from after they were infected. Surely, I just can't see how that's not possible. You know, I just can't see them not interacting, because obviously, especially if they're asymptomatic, they've not got any symptoms, they don't know they've got it, and you know, if you don't know you've got it, you can be interacting with people while being asymptomatic. So it's going to be interesting, guys. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody else comes down with COVID-19. That's going to be real. It's going to be really bad if somebody else comes with COVID-19. You know, if we lose another couple of players, this could be a really horrendous period of time for us. And I don't know if we lost a couple more players, whether what the protocols are, whether we can have games postponed. That would be a nightmare for us as well. It'd be good and bad, you know. It would be bad because we've got no rest between now and the end of the season. You know, if we keep winning games in various competitions, then we don't get any rest. So it's a really tough situation to be in. It's unbelievable that it's happened, but it is what it is. It's happened. Let's look at your comments then. I do realise, I'm just looking, guys, there are some comments that don't come through on YouTube. I'm just looking at one now. See, there's one here from Bola David Ujulari, which hasn't come through. So some comments, I don't know why, but they're blocked by YouTube and they need to be cleared. So they're held by YouTube. I don't see them, so I can't clear them. I just saw this one by accident. Walking, time for Delap ain't happening. I can't believe it's not going to happen until 2 reasons. First reason, he's not trained with the lads. So I don't think he's going to be called up because he's had no training recently with the lads because he wasn't expected to be required. A second reason is Pep won't use him. Pep will go back to his, can I say tried and tested? False 9. JRX unbelievable. 2020 keeps on knocking it back to us, doesn't it? Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, says JRX. And hopefully right back. No, later it's only. I'll go through the rules. I'm sorry to get Jason. Yet sorry that it tested positive. I've been quarantined after the test negative has been shot, and hopefully all will recover and will be contained. Yeah, JRX. The rules as I read them this morning. I kind of knew most of them, but I just double checked. The rules are: if you have no symptoms, then you have to self-isolate for 10 days after a positive test. If you've got symptoms, you have to isolate for 10 days after you've had a positive test. So whether you've got symptoms or not, you have to isolate for 10 days. Okay, that's the first thing. But if you have no symptoms when you test positive, and then a few days later you develop symptoms, then the 10 days have to start from when you develop the symptoms, so they have to restart. So the worst thing for the players could be, you could be 5 days into this self-isolation, and then you develop symptoms, and then the 10 days start there. So then it becomes 15. I think the most it can be is 20. It's very unlikely, but the most it can be is 20. I'm assuming they tested positive yesterday or today. That will mean 10 days. They will be ready for the United game in the Carabao Cups, which means automatically they miss the games against Newcastle tomorrow, the game against Everton. They miss the game against Chelsea. Those three are definitely missed according to the rules as I've read them today. I don't expect them to be used against Man United. It's extremely unlikely, and I'll tell you why. If they come back to us on the 4th of January, 25th, so isolation starts, let's say they tested positive yesterday, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Okay, so they could be available for the United game, which is on the 6th. But that means you come out of isolation on the 3rd or the 4th. You have to train with the lads and prove your fitness. Now, if you're not fit, you can't play. So I've got a feeling that they will not be included against United. It's really bad for us. You always feel Walker's got that, that relentless energy. He never seems to be injured. He's always fit, and he can play after 2 days. But we'll just have to wait and see. So there's a risk that they're not going to be around for the United game, but they'll be available for Birmingham. The Birmingham game, by the time of the Birmingham game, they'll have been out of COVID situation for a week, 6-7 days, and then you'll have to rely on them being fit, having no after effects. I think Gundogan said he had suffered a little afterwards. They'll have to come back and have no after effects and just be able to go and get back into training and get back in with the squad. Then they can be featured against Birmingham. Personally, I'm tempted to let them come off the bench. I don't mind either. It all depends on fitness. Very bad news, Andrew. Absolutely. I don't see all your comments, but anyway, they come through on YouTube, so I have to open up a YouTube to see for the comments I missed, because I missed a comment from Bola David Ojulari. It says, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Do all of it now. That's it. That's what we want. But I didn't see that on my StreamYard because I had to get it approved first, and StreamYard doesn't see that. Anyway, figures as soon as we start to get healthy. Now this absolutely missed the roll-up. Walk is very important, Andrew. Can we use the Jake on the night? We don't need you, Faris. Look, we've got Cancelo. As I see it, more than likely, we can play Cancelo against... If you're worried about Cancelo being injured, not being fit enough, you can maybe go with the back three. Go with the back three and use Mahrez as a wing back. I don't know. Or you can just say Cancelo plays the first game, and if he's fit enough, he plays the second. I think that's the way I would probably go. You can't take... I think just take each game as it comes. So that's how I'd look at it. Play Cancelo on the right, play Zinchenko or Mendy on the left for the first game. Cancelo, I think he's fit enough. Play him for the second game if he's fit, and use the other one of Zinchenko or Mendy for the game against Everton. At least we have backup for the players. We can play Torres, Aguero, and Cancelo or Zinchenko. Yeah, I'm not worried yet, Andrew. Merry Christmas to you as well, Andrew. We can't use Cancelo in both games. Why not? Honestly, Forrest, I don't see why not. We can use, as far as I see it, use Zinchenko as a left back, Cancelo as a right back. No problem against Newcastle. And then see if Cancelo's ready for the next game. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well, buddy. Mr. Hope says time for Aguero to prove if he can still contribute. Yeah. So that's the obviously the big piece of news today. That I'll repeat, Walker and Gabriel Jesus tested positive for COVID-19. 2 other members of City staff tested positive for COVID-19 as well. And all 4 are self-isolating. The minimum period is supposed to be 10 days. The minimum period is supposed to be 10 days. So, and it could even be longer, depending on whether you have symptoms or not. Faris, I don't know. Honestly, that's the truth. Here's the thing, Faris. So you have to decide. If you decide beforehand that he can't play 2 games in 3 days, Sterling does, Walker does. 4 or 5 players do play games after 2 days. It's not good. But how do you do it then? But I'm still tempted to play Cancelo against Newcastle, play Zinchenko or Mendy or left back. After the game and the following day, it's a risk, but you see where Cancelo is. Look, here's the thing: we haven't trained with the back 3. We haven't brought a kid in to be right back. Now we could do that. We could bring a kid in or try something different for the game against Everton. But personally, I would just play Cancelo, see what he's like, see if he's fit after that game. Has he got any problems? If he has, then you have to, at the last minute, think of a solution. Now, one solution, which I'm not keen on, I've seen it used before, is John Stones at right back. That's one option. Personally, and this is honestly, I would just do it straightforward. Edison, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, another, Zinchenko, Mendy, Laporte or Ake. And then that's against Newcastle, and against Everton, I'd play the same. I wouldn't change a thing. If they're fit enough, you check the numbers, you check them out, check their health. If they're fit enough, let them play. Let them play again. Yeah, absolutely, Faris. It's a really tough decision. As I said, how do you do it? Do you take a risk and say, I'll save them for the Everton game and then not beat Newcastle? I mean, that would be just diabolical. Aguero hasn't shown anything this season. Andrew says he hasn't been fit though, as he was injured. Yeah, but it takes him time to come back, Andrew, and that's the problem. It's taking him longer and longer, it seems, to come back. Happy Christmas, LCFC Boyo. Been all right. We've been up in Paris today. So my brother-in-law came back from overseas. He's been working overseas, so my missus and the kids went to see him, and we went out to Paris. Bit of the Eiffel Tower. Went out to get something to eat, and this evening we watched The Day After Tomorrow. Made the kids, they don't really want to sit down for 2 hours to watch that. Give them a PlayStation or a Switch or whatever. They're happy to sit around and play for 10 hours if you let them. But 2 hours watching a film, that's pretty hard going. But hey, we managed it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Aki's left back. I can't see it, Andrew. We've got Zinchenko. We've got Mendy. They'll use those 2. Yeah, Stones is right back, Faris. As I said, if you only do it all this messing about if Cancelo isn't capable of playing the second game. Aki's left back, Cancelo's right back. No, Kevin De Bruyne, 0518. We've got Mendy and Zinchenko. I would play Mendy in the first game. That's it. Aki's injured, pretty sure he's always injured. And he played last week, didn't he? He played in the Champions League. Newcastle's already tough. Bruce is confident. Well, they're playing away from home. I think they're going to be extremely defensive. You have to work really hard to get the points there. I think a lot of players. I don't think Aki's injured. I don't think he was all right 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. Cancelo is young, time for him to step up and hold it down until Walker comes back. Mr. Can't argue with that. And as I said, he plays one game. The hardest part, the whole out of all this holiday period, the only issue we've got is, for me, the Newcastle game followed by the Everton game 2 days later. After Everton, we've got the next game is 5 days later against Chelsea. After that, I think it's 3 days to United, 4 days to Birmingham. I'm not worried about them yet. Let's go beat Newcastle, says Matt Blues. Absolutely. Hey, Andrew, season's greetings. Hope you're well as well. That Cancelo can play 4 games in 10 days, bearing in mind how tough 3 of them are. Thomas says, I don't see why not. Honestly, Thomas, he's 26. Walker would have. I don't see. Honestly, I don't see. We don't know. We don't know what his recovery is like. Pep used to say about Sterling, he recovers so quickly that he can play game after game after game, and he does that. Rodri's played all games this season, so definitely certainly in the league. So we just don't know. Torres against Newcastle, Aguero against Everton sounds decent. Faris sounds decent. I mean, I actually wanted Aguero against Newcastle just because he scores lots of goals against them, but it sounds a better bet to have Torres against Newcastle and Aguero to come on. All the lower teams play like 10 at the back, and it is irritating. But hey, Andrew, they're going for points. They've got to get what they can. Aguero should be able to play against Chelsea. 5 days rest, so that'd be cool. Aguero plays the game, starts the game against Everton, helps us to win, and then has 5 days off before Chelsea. That'd be great. Don't start Mendes against Everton and Chelsea. Why not? Who are you going to play? Pepe's not going to go to play Ake or Laporte. I really can't see them playing either of them at left back. He's going to play Mendy or Zinchenko. I honestly can't see anything else, guys. Just quickly check on. But Paul shouldn't play full 90 as well. We should use subs, says Faris. Walker we can do without, but without Jesus, we may struggle to win games. Please get fit soon, says King Cunt, says Ivan. I'm going to go now, mate. Cheers, Andrew. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us, guys. Anybody who's joined us, even for a few minutes, definitely appreciated. It's only going to be a short stream of about 20 minutes tonight, guys, because it's nearly 11 o'clock for me. So my kids are going to get up at 8 tomorrow. I don't think that'll happen, but I want to start running again. My first run for nearly 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that. I had a slight hamstring strain, just a slight one last time I went running, so I had to take a few days off. I took a bit too long off, but I went out just under 3 miles today, and I had a stitch for at least 3/4 of a mile to a mile at the end. But hey, bottom line is, get out there and you do it. Get out there and do it. There's no other news, guys. I had a quick check around. I'm not seeing anything about other news. Nothing. I can't remember anything going through on Twitter and stuff like that. Have a quick look again. But it's just people wishing everybody Merry Christmas and stuff like that. Just have a quick look to see. But I've got to say, it has been very quiet on Twitter. Maybe that's because people are getting sick and tired of me on Twitter. It has been a little bit of a rumpus on Twitter with some of the things I say, but it's been very, very quiet. Right, guys, I'm going to shoot as well. So it's no one's talking. I'm going to shoot. You've got an hour and a half. 2.5 hours left of your Christmas day, 2 hours, whatever. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. We get ready for Boxing Day. How many players do you tend to use in both games? I can't think of lineups, Faris, because for me, I always say go out with your best team, start with your best team, and then see how many are fit. Edison will play both games. Okay, if Walker didn't have COVID, he'd have played both games. I don't know. I mean, I would want Stones and Diaz to play both games. I want them because at least start the game. It's one of these. We've got potential to use 3 subs. For argument's sake, you're winning. Let's pick a number. You're winning 3-0 at half time. I'd say within 10, 15 minutes of the second half starting, you take off 3 players. If you're winning 3-0 after 60 minutes, take off 3 players. And they can be, let's say, centre. Who do you take off? KDB? Cancelo? Just to try something different. And one of your centre-backs. I don't know. Sterling, yes, Faris, I play Sterling both games. Tomorrow, maybe Arteta's last. I don't think so, Ivan. I don't think it's. I think Arteta has at least the next 2 games. At least. I think Arteta's problem is going to be. I think Arteta's problem is going to be if he loses, the next 2 games, it's going to be really bad. I'm just going to try and pull up Arsenal's fixture just quickly because it's weird when you have to scramble down to the bottom of the table. Yeah. Part of it depends how much they get beat by. And it sounds a bit, if they get embarrassed by Chelsea, at home, that's going to be bad. And then they got Brighton after that. So they've got Brighton. If they lose to Brighton, I think Brighton can overtake them in the league. Brighton could overtake them in the league. Then they've got West Brom away, Newcastle at home in the cup. But they've got some tough games coming up because in end of January they've got Southampton away and they play at home to United. They've got Palace on the 14th. So I think the next 2 games could decide his fate because you lose to Chelsea badly. You lose to Brighton. Honestly, you lose to Brighton and you think Brighton would then be above Arsenal. So if Arsenal lose their next 2 games, Brighton will be above Arsenal. There's a chance Burnley would be above Arsenal as well. And Arsenal will be sat in 17th. And I think that could be curtains for Arteta because they have to pull a plug at some point. And that could well be the point that they pull the plug. But we'll see. You think Laporte? No, I don't want Laporte. Honestly, Faris, the 2 games Laporte started, we've conceded. The 2 games he started in recent times, we've conceded each game. West Brom, Arsenal. 6 games that, was it 7 games now? 6 games that Stones and Diaz have played together. 6 clean sheets. Says enough for me. He would have played against Arsenal and Newcastle. Shouldn't be tough for him, says Faris. Laporte and Ake tomorrow and Diaz and Stones for Everton. No chance. I don't want to see Laporte. That's how I feel about it. I don't want to see him because he's not been good enough. No way Pep is ever making 3 subs after 6 minutes. We know that, Mr. Roller. But I'm just saying, if you were sensible and you're winning 3-0 after 60 minutes, I wouldn't be swapping players. If we've got all these games in a short space of time. I do hope you well. He wouldn't because when the players must start collapsing. Yeah, he'll take 1 or 2 off and keep 1 for later. But they have to do something worryingly quick or the risk being Man City. So I hope they go down, Ivan. Why not? Aguero starting? No, I don't think so, but he only played less than 20 minutes in the last game at the end. I just think he's going to be. I don't think he's fit enough to start. I think he'll start the game against Everton. Hi, Ali. Hope you're well. But he should not play Laporte. We should not play Laporte against Everton. Newcastle is much safer. I agree, Faris. The risk is you play Laporte against Everton and you don't get the result. You play the Laporte against Newcastle and you don't get the result. That's the risk for me. That's what I worry about. Interviews, Ali? You mean the interviews? I did that interview with the Newcastle guy. You just reach out to people. It's as simple as that. I reached out to him, and he came on the channel. I'm not sure how many people have watched that video. Just have a quick look. There's not a lot. I don't get a lot of people watching my stuff. 166. That's all right. I like to get between 200 and 300 is good. Watching one of my previews. Small channel, guys. Why no training videos in City channel on YouTube? Like, I don't know, Mohammed. Honestly, I don't watch them much anymore. As I'm doing more and more, as I'm doing a lot of videos myself, I don't watch a lot of the City stuff, and it's boring. That's the truth. It bores me now. I've got better things to do. We can't play the same CBs in both games. That's not safe. I understand that, Faris. That's why I'm advocating. But get in there and win the first game. But obviously that's the problem, Faris. We've got to juggle, and it's difficult. I agree with what you're saying. Play the best pairing against Everton, because that's probably the one where we need the best pairing. I totally agree. Now, we could end up playing Fernandinho tomorrow. We could play Fernandinho and Laporte to rest the other guys. I don't know. I just want to win the next game and then see. Thomas, why are you talking about Laporte like he's this massive liability? He made a split-second mistake last game after not playing for about 6 games. He needs game. Oh, I understand he needs game time, but he made a mistake. The 2 games he's played, we've conceded. Okay, you might say it's not his fault. It's just a coincidence that he's played those 2 games. And that's one of the things, Thomas. He hasn't played a lot of football. He's rusty. And we can't carry people. That's the truth. We cannot afford to carry players because we need to be winning games. And I think right now we would be carrying Laporte a little bit until he's not confident. That wasn't a small mistake in my book. That was a big mistake. Yeah, well, that's it. Then maybe tomorrow, Faris. Right, guys, I'm going to shoot. Guys. Have a good evening. Have a very, very good evening, guys. And I'll catch you tomorrow. As usual, try and do the, it's an evening game, so we'll do the lineup. We'll do the live team news, and we'll do a post-match. Might even do, if you want, it at half-time. We'll see. We can't afford to make centre-backs get game time just to develop. We need players that are on form. That's it. That's it, Faris. We need, just because Laporte has missed games, and I don't give it. What you can't have is someone coming in, making a mistake and costing you. Okay, you need someone to come in and hit the ground running. You can't afford mistakes. You cannot afford mistakes. And against Arsenal, that was a poor mistake, really poor. He's not looked good enough for me recently. Look, he's still a good player, but we can't afford mistakes. Anyway, guys, catch you tomorrow. Hope you have a good evening, and good luck against West Brom.